Hi, this is Mallikarjun, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering, GMRP Wootner. The subject I am going to discuss in this video is engineering materials. Subject code 305MC 18M305C. And in the fifth unit, we are discussing heat treatment of steels. In this video, we will be discussing about the construction of TTT curves. Depending on the temperature of transformation, austenite may transform to perlite or sorbite, trustite or martensite. So the kinetics of the above phase transformation is indicated on TTT diagrams. TTT means time temperature transformation curves. And this curve is a plot of temperature versus the logarithm of time for a steel alloy of definite composition. That means for each and every steel composition there will be individual TTT diagram. So the TTT diagram indicates the austenite transformation into ferrite cementite mixture or isothermal decomposition of austenite will be indicated on the TTT diagrams. With the help of these diagrams, it is easy to choose a proper cooling cycle to obtain the desired transformation product. So therefore, TTT diagrams is the principal source on the actual process of austenite composition under non-equilibrium conditions. So TTT diagrams indicates the entire transformation of austenite into various microstructures like perlite, sorbite, trustite, bainite or martensite. So all these things we already discussed in the previous videos. A large number of relatively small specimens at equilibrium above critical temperatures are quenched in a liquid bath maintained at constant subcritical temperatures. So we are going to discuss, we already discussed what is the structures using how we can get the desired microstructure using TTT curves in the previous video sessions. But in this video session we will be discussing how to construct these curves. These curves are also called as isothermal transformation curves, or isothermal means at constant temperature there is a transformation from austenite to either perlite or sorbite or trustite or upper bainite or lower bainite or any other structure. So therefore it has very significant place in the heat treatment processes. So it is necessary for us to understand the TTT diagrams and how they are constructed. So how they are constructed means a large number of relatively small specimens at equilibrium above critical temperature are quenched in a liquid bath, maintaining at constant subcritical temperatures. So specimens are withdrawn at regular intervals and quenched in iced brine to prevent further transformation. As we have seen in the TTT curves, each for each and every composition we take different cooling cycles. For example, if I take a hypoeutected steel of carbon containing 0.4% carbon and 0.4% carbon, I take many samples and I heat these samples to above the critical temperature, that is 723 degrees centigrade, and then I cool all these samples at different cooling rates. So with different cooling rates I can construct the TTT curves. So what exactly happens? The microstructures are examined after each and every specimen based on the microstructure. We can understand that the cooling rate to be balanced or adjusted. So finally, after examining the microstructures, we can see the beginning and the ending of the transformation at a given temperature. So a series of these tests at several temperatures allow construction of diagram. A series, because of their shape, these curves are sometimes called S curves or C curves, although more common practice to call them TTT diagrams. So transformation of eutectoid steel just below critical temperature is to perlite at a very slow rate. So this is actual how we construct the so first The TTT diagram is constructed for each steel composition. The figure shows the construction of eutectide steel of 0.8% carbon steel. The curves in the figure are drawn by taking number of steel specimens. The composition is same, but for same composition we take n number of specimens, and each specimen is cooled at different cooling rates. So that is how. So we can see the curve for one cooling rate on the top diagram. It is shown on the top, just like S curve. So this S curve shows the starting of the transformation, and bottom is the starting of the transformation, and end is the ending of the transformation. So heating each specimen to austenitizing temperature and then quenching to predetermined temperatures and holding at the temperature. So the transformation of austenite begins after a certain time called incubation period. The curve A in the figure represents the beginning and the curve B represents the ending of austenite decomposition. The curve A in the figure represents, as it is shown, the starting of the S curve, and the curve B represents the ending of the S curve, that is the ending of the transformation. So the interval between the two curves indicates the transformation or partial decomposition of austenite into ferrite and cementite. So for each and every curve, an S curve is formed, and that S curve is plotted down on the C curve on the TTT diagrams. So that is how a transformation curve is formed. So therefore TTT curves are nothing but when a phase has been brought into unstable region. For example, a 0.8% carbon steel is cooled below the isothermal temperature, that is 723 degrees centigrade. The equilibrium diagram no longer explains anything about the transformation of phase from austenite to ferrite and pearlite phases and the mechanism of their formation. So the main benefit of the TTT curves is we have gone through the equilibrium iron and iron carbide equilibrium diagram, and there we know that below the 723 degrees centigrade, below 723 degrees centigrade, uh, austenite transforms into pearlite, but how this austenite is transformed into pearlite is not explained at that moment. So therefore TTT curves explains what exactly happens during the transformation of the austenite into pearlite or sorbite or trustite or any other bainitic structure or martensitic structure. So we know that very slow cooling produces pearlite and very rapid cooling produces martensite, leaving mechanism of transformation. So we know that how pearlite is formed. So slow cooling will give from austenite to perlite at below 723 degrees centigrade. Very slow cooling will give us perlite, and very fast cooling give us martensite. But how these are formed are missed. So this is explained by with the help of TTT curves. So isothermal transformation of austenite at subcritical temperature is known as time temperature transformation or TTT diagrams, whereas continuous cooling transformations are known as CCT diagrams. The diagram is required for each and every alloy composition. That means for each and every composition of an alloy there will be one TTT diagram. So therefore it is very essential for us to understand how exactly a time temperature transformation curve is formed. So depending on the of temperature of transformation, austenite may transform to perlite, sorbite, trustite, and bainite or martensite. So TTT diagram is plot of temperature versus the logarithm of time for steel, alloy or definite composition. So TTT diagrams indicate the specific transformation starts and ends, and it also shows what percentage of austenite transformation is achieved at particular temperature and time. With the help of these diagrams, it is easy to choose a proper cooling cycle to obtain the transformation product. So with the help of these TTT diagrams, it becomes very easy for anyone to understand the transformation and how austenite is transforming into perlite and how austenite is transforming into sorbite or trustite or bainite and martensite. So therefore, in any industry producing variety of steels will maintain different TTT diagrams for each and every composition of alloy. So this is the main purpose of the TTT diagram. TTT diagrams are graphical summaries of isothermal transformations obtained when quenched in a, as follows. A large number of relatively small specimens at equilibrium above critical temperatures are quenched in a liquid bath maintained at constant subcritical temperatures. Specimens are withdrawn at regular intervals and quenched in iced brine to prevent further transformation. So each and every specimen is heated with a different cooling rate, and it is tested at each and every point by observing the microstructure, how exactly the austenite is transforming into the different microstructures. So microstructures are examined to determine the beginning and the end of transformation at the given temperature. Series of tests at several temperatures allow construction of diagram. So because of their shape, these curves are sometimes called S curves or C curves, although a large number of relatively specimens are required to construct the TTT curves. The more number of specimens will give us the more accurate results in understanding the transformation. So transformation of eutectoid steel just below critical temperature is to perlite at very slow rate, that we have already discussed in the previous video sessions, and the TTT diagram is constructed for each steel composition. The figure shows the construction of eutectoid steel of 0.8% carbon steel. The curves in the figure are drawn by taking a number of steel specimens. The curves in heating each specimen to austenizing temperature and then quenching to predetermined temperature and holding at that temperature. The transformation of austenite begins after a certain time called as incubation period. So the moment the austenite is quenched to some temperature and held at the temperature, so the moment it is held at the temperature, austenite transformation does not begins. Austenite transformation begins after some time, after the stability in its structure phase, and then it transforms into perlite or whatever the structure it is required. So therefore the transformation of austenite begins after certain time, and that time is called as incubation period. So here we can see in the S curve on the here we can see the transformation of austenite is not is started at somewhere after 10 on the time scale, and it has completed the entire transformation after around how many more than 1000 seconds. So here it is the transformation begins, the starting of the curve, and starting of the curve is drawn downwards so that one point is formed on the TTT curve, and then another, after the transformation is completed, that point is drawn on the another curve, that indicates the finishing of the transformation, that means the completion of the transformation process. So therefore, like this, we take so many curves and we plot them onto the TTT curves, and then all these curves are joined with a smooth curve to get a C-shaped curve. The between the middle curve or the dashed curve indicates the middle part, that means the completion of only 50% of the transformation. So with this, whatever microstructure is required, we can get that microstructure based on the requirement. So this is for eutectoid steel, and the transformation of austenite begins, once it begins, it if it is the entire transformation completes unless it is interrupted. The curve A in the figure represents the beginning and the curve B represents the ending of austenite decomposition. We can see here. This is the curve A, that is it indicates the beginning of the curve, beginning of the transformation, and curve B indicates the ending of the transformation. So both the curves are very important. Once the transformation completes, again we can quench it. It is not necessary that it has to be slow cooled even after the transformation is completed. The transformation, though the transfer, once the transformation is completed, again we can quench the material, but until the transformation is completed, we are not supposed to disturb the process. So how to understand? So to understand this, we need TTT diagram. So TTT diagrams are the main diagrams to understand how we can continue the process with fast and accurate results. So this is all about TTT transformation curves, and more the advantages are abundant using these TTT curves, because whatever structure we require, we can easily get that structure without any delay or problems. So I repeat, before I wind up this session, I repeat, the TTT diagram is constructed for each steel composition. The figure shows the construction of eutectoid steel of 0.8% carbon. The transformation of austenite begins after the certain time period called, this we already discussed. So how? So heating each specimen to the predetermined temperature, that is austenitic temperature, and holding it there for sufficient period for a uniform heat distribution, and then bringing that austenite phase to the cooling temperature, and finally the metal is quenched. The so the advantages of this are well explained here. When a phase has been brought into unstable region, for example 0.8% carbon, steel is cooled below isothermal temperature, that is at 723 degrees centigrade. The equilibrium diagram no longer explains anything about the transformation of phase. So that is the main purpose. And we know that very slow cooling produces perlite and very rapid cooling produces martensite, leaving mechanism of transformation. So this is all about how the austenite is transforming into perlite or any other structure. And isothermal transformation of austenite at subcritical temperatures is known as time transformation or TTT curves. So we know that very slow cooling produces perlite and very rapid cooling produces martensite, leaving the mechanism transformation. So to understand this transformation, isothermal transformation of austenite at subcritical temperatures is known as time temperature transformation or TTT diagrams, whereas continuous cooling transformations are known as CCT diagrams. So continuous cooling diagrams also will be explained in the next video session. But in this video session, let us understand how exactly a time temperature transformation curves are constructed. So we already discussed that for each composition of steel there will be one TTT diagram, and to construct one TTT diagram we need n number of samples. So n number of samples are cooled. Each sample is cooled at a different temperature. That means that particular sample or specimen is brought at the required temperature, and that specimen is held at the temperature until the entire transformation takes place. So that is what exactly happens during the transformation process. So that is clearly explained with the help of the diagram here. So this diagram is now, so this is for eutectoid steel, and the top curve indicates the how the transformation is taking place from austenite to the different microstructures like perlite, coarse perlite, fine perlite, then comes sorbite, then comes trustite, then comes upper bainite, then comes lower bainite, then the temperature of martensite. So at a temperature of 723 degrees centigrade we get perlite. At a temperature of 700 degrees centigrade we get coarse perlite, and at a temperature of 675 degrees centigrade we get fine perlite. But at a temperature of 650 degrees centigrade, at a temperature of 650 degrees centigrade, what we get was sorbite, very fine or dispersed perlite, that is sorbite. And around 600 degrees centigrade what we get is trustite. At 600 degrees centigrade we get trustite, at 650 degrees centigrade we get sorbite, and at 550 degrees centigrade what we get is upper bainite, and at 500 degrees centigrade, from 550 to 500 degrees centigrade what we get is upper bainite, and then after that what we get is lower bainite at around 400 to 300 degrees centigrade, and below 300 degrees centigrade we get martensite, that is 250 degrees centigrade we get martensite. So with the help of this the main advantage of this TTT diagram is we can quench the steel till to the temperature where the transformation begins, and we can again quench the steel after the completion of the transformation. So this is how we save the time to make any particular steel of required microstructure. First advantage is it is easy to understand and easy to get whatever the microstructure required microstructure. And the second advantage is whenever we can quench the steel to the transformation temperature, and again we can quench the steel after the completion of the transformation. So this is a this is a time saving process to make uh, to save energy, because we cannot hold these specimens at that temperature even the transformation is completed. That will consume lot of energy. So to save the energy, we can use TTT diagrams, and with the help of TTT diagrams we can easily make these steels with the desired mechanical properties with help of the microstructures. So in the next video we will be discussing about how the what is critical cooling curves, CCC. Actually critical cooling curves are called as CCC curves. So these curves will explain what microstructure will be getting if we continuously cool. So the difference between the TTT curves and CCC curves are, in TTT curves we will quench the steel to the austenitic transformation beginning temperature, and we will hold that steel at that temperature until the entire transformation completes. And once the transformation completes, we again quench the steel directly to the room temperature. So this will save the time. But whereas the CCC curves explain the continuous cooling, it is continuous cooling curve, that is what structure will be resulting when we continuously cool the steel to the room temperature. So this is explained by the cooling curves. There is no big difference, but in both these phenomenon we can easily uh, use this TTT diagrams. So this will be explained in the next video. So in this video we have discussed the advantages, the need of the TTT diagram and the advantages of the TTT diagram, and how this TTT diagram is constructed. So we have chosen a eutectoid steel having 0.8% carbon, and that taking that 0.8% carbon steel and taking n number of samples, and each sample is cooled at different cooling rate, so that we can easily plot the CCC curves, TTT curves, and we in TTT curves we get two curves. One curve indicates the beginning of the austenitic transformation, and the second curve indicates the ending of the transformation of the austenite. So once these two curves are generated or are constructed, then it is easy for n number of steels to get the required microstructure based on the TTT curve. So I hope you understood the concept. So in the next video we will be discussing about the CCC curves.